Good morning. Welcome to November's Fort Campbell Community Town Hall. Please take a moment to silence or turn off your cell phones. And to access a copy of today's presentation, please click the QR code on the screen or visit Fort Campbell Community Town Hall webpage. We'd also like to invite you at the conclusion of the Town Hall to visit our community information fair in the back of the room. Everyone give us a wave. We have organizations from across the installation ready to share information and talk to you about what Fort Campbell has to offer. Today, we have wonderful and informative presentations for you. We ask that you would please hold your questions until the question and answer session following all the briefs. To begin, our Senior Commander, Major General Sylvia, with opening comments. Sir.
Was everyone instructed to clap? Okay, I'll just make a few comments. So first I want to start off by, last night I was reminded why this is a place that not only I fought to come back to and serve at, but why everyone comes to fight and serve at. Anybody take kids around last night to participate in Halloween? Yeah, okay, all right. So one of the things that I love about serving in a place like this is I got to see not one, but two grown men dressed in rainbow unicorn outfits. And so I thought, man, that is what is great about this place. Where else are you gonna see that? Great event last night. From everything that I read this morning, it was a safe event as well. Which is also very important. With that many people that are out and moving around, it was great to see. So thank you to our DS folks as well for keeping us safe. So what I want to talk about is a little bit about what's on the horizon. Those that were at Eagle Rendezvous last week have heard me talk about this. I affectionately refer to as the November-December period as November. Because I feel like there's not a lot that we can get accomplished during that time. When you think about, all the holidays, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, the half-day schedule, Christmas, it becomes a time where in many cases we start to kind of power down a little bit, and not only do we do less, but in many cases get a little less done. When I looked at our calendar, however, I noticed that it's not in fact the case. And so as I looked at this, we have our 3rd Brigade that is departing right now. We had the first main body flight that actually flew last night. And we'll have a series of these that will be going out over the course of the next month or so. At the same time, we have our 1st Brigade that will be returning. And I think we've got the first flight for them that is later this week, if I've got that right. And so, we've got essentially, 38 humans that will be moving out, and 3,800 humans. Did I say 38? I meant 3,800. 3,800 that will be coming back as well. So when you think about that, that is a lot of movement going in and out, and it requires a heck of a lot of extra people in order to be able to make all that happen. To include the reception of 1st Brigade. So with all of the construction that's going on in terms of their barracks, we are not only getting them back, but then giving them their stuff, and then they're moving off post and finding other places to live. I think we're up to something like 1,200 soldiers that will be moving off post. So if you haven't rented a place yet, you might want to get out there quick before they all get taken up. So that is a significant movement, and it's taken a lot of effort from everybody out there. Last night at midnight, I don't know if you guys felt it, but the IRF, the Immediate Response Force, shifted from Fort Liberty here to Fort Campbell, something that has not happened in decades, and it was not for their lack of trying to keep it. But so right now the division headquarters is part of the Immediate Response Force. So and with everything that's going on in the world, you may have heard that along with that, we assumed a 24-hour prepared to deploy order as well, in the event that there are things in the Middle East that require our division headquarters in order to be able to provide command and control. That's significant. That is significant not only in terms of the higher level of readiness that's required of our division staff, but it is also significant in terms of the installation support activities. And we've done a lot of the deployment readiness events that have occurred over the course of the last month and a half in order to be able to not just exercise the individual readiness of our soldiers, but also us as a power projection platform. So pretty significant there. Destiny Phoenix. Destiny Phoenix kicking off next week. A big event for us in terms of exercising our core competency as the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, the world's only air assault division, our ability to do large-scale, long-range air assault operations. And so that is involving, it's involving the CAV, obviously, 2nd Brigade, the division headquarters, the DeVarty, and the Sustainment Brigade. So a lot of moving pieces, and that will be a key enabler for what is the next big event, which is 2nd Brigade and the CAV going down to JRTC in January. So you'll start seeing a lot of the movement that's taking place over the course of the next month and a half in order to be able to get them postured for that JRTC rotation that's taking place then as well. And then 126, anybody here from 126? Going out to Southern Vanguard, a hardship duty. We're sending, or have already sent a bunch of guys to go down to Brazil. Tough time of year to go to Brazil, but someone had to do that. And then 96 ASB, want to give them a shout out for FARPA-Palooza. So being able to train as we were doing large-scale, long-range air assault missions, being able to train across the entire division, the ability to run a refueling point for aircraft. And so that's a significant thing as well. So while I do normally talk about November and not a lot going on, you can see we have a lot that's going on in the 101st just over the course of this time period. At a time when I think many people will also be powering down. So keeping op tempo at a steady and the available hours in order to be able to do that are somewhat shrinking. So important for us to make sure that we are being efficient with our time as we're going through all of those things in the next few months. My priorities in terms of the installation remain the same. I talked a little bit about it last week. Getting a new hangar built here is number one in terms of my installation construction priorities. Continuing to focus on barracks, continue to focus on our workspaces, primarily our motor pools and things. And from a non-construction standpoint, continue to work on access to child care and spouse employment. So those remain my priorities for the things that we are doing here. So I know there's a continued efforts that are taking place on each one of those fronts, but just to let you know that those are the things that we're going to continue to hammer on in terms of the leadership that are here. I am going to hang around here through the briefings primarily because I want to hear Sam Preston talk about how bad we are at attending our medical appointments. And so I'll stick around if there are any questions for me at the end. I'll be part of that as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'd like to begin our presentations with Bach updates. Please welcome Colonel Preston.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Sam. Thanks, sir. So, we go to the next slide. I want to give just a couple of updates in reference to our community food drive. That is one of our primary lines of effort currently. Doing a phenomenal job. The active duty side is doing incredible work, but I really want to bring home what my team is doing as far as getting your family members, dependents, and community vaccinated. So we conducted a Cole Parks Common access point for FluVax just this last week. We had over 700 vaccinations given. We also are tracking DODIA's requirement in the email that was sent out. The December 1st deadline to have your kiddos vaccinated. My team is making sure that we're available for you so that your kiddos can get vaccinated. So there's a couple of events I want to highlight here. November 2nd, and Saturday, November 18th, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Those are open to body everybody, active duty, family members, kiddos. So please do remember that. Also, we've expanded our hours in our primary care clinics. Monday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Starting now, also on Fridays. And then also after hours, 4 to 6 p.m. at our medical homes on November 2nd and 9th. And then November 2nd and 30th at our medical homes, and at Screaming Eagle Off Post, November 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th. So we're expanding our hours to meet you where you are. If anybody has any issues getting vaccinated, please do let us know so we can increase access. Just another update, our holiday schedule. We're here for you 24/7 with emergency services. That will never change. However, we do close our outpatient clinics for Veterans Day, federal holidays, Thanksgiving, etc. Also, we have had a tremendous outpour of support for our script center. This is a game changer that we had been discussing before. I do want to correct a comment that I had made previously. This is for new prescriptions. I believe last time I spoke I said it was for refills. This is a 24/7, 365 opportunity to call in and get your medication filled. And you can walk in on Christmas Day to the hospital, go to the locker, and fill your new prescription if you haven't done it. So a great resource that we have now. Also, for our refills, we have a QR code here so that you're not waiting in line to pick up your refills. You simply have to go in our Get In Line by either calling our Q Anywhere app, and you can fill your refill prescription and then just go right into line and get it very quickly. So again, we're trying to save you time. We know the time is incredibly important. So just a couple of last things before we get into what the CG had mentioned about the no-shows. One is for MHS Genesis. People are talking about getting delays in having their records. If you want your medical records, you can do that through MHS Genesis currently. You'll get it much quicker if you go on MHS Genesis and you want a copy of the records. Also, TRICARE Online still has that capability. So if you go on TRICARE Online, you can also get your records. If you go to the hospital and ask for in-person records, hard copies yourself, because of system-wide shortages of patient administration personnel, it's significantly delayed. We need to get it to you within 30 days. We're having a hard time as an organization across the whole force getting records. So if your folks need records or PCSing or for going on post, please use the resources that are available to you. All right, if we could go to the next slide, please. All right, so no-shows. This is progress, not perfection. We're going to be showing this, a version of this slide is going to modify as the months move on. But what this shows you is, the first bar is active duty service members, approximately in October, 2,000 no-shows. And for our dependents, about 1,200, give or take. When we do the math, that equates to about hiring 8.5 docs. So if we just made our appointments 100%, it would be like I hired 8.5 doctors immediately. If we made the standard, which is 5%, currently the installation's at 10% no-show rate, so 1 in 10 appointments is not made at this installation, it would be the equivalent of hiring about 4.5 docs immediately. Now when you look at us in comparison to the entire force, the Army, we're just slightly above. The entire Army is about 9%, we're at 10%. But when we look at primary care appointments, where we have the most complaints about access, we're about 2% higher than the rest of the Army. And so that's a significant area where we can pay attention. For dependents, there's very few things that we can do other than to let dependents know how their no-shows are impacting the whole community. They're delaying access. Some installations have enacted a 3 strikes rule, where if a dependent does not make an appointment 3 times in a row, they're then sent out to the network. We do not want to engage that currently, that's not on the table for us right now. We believe just by letting you all know that this will change. We just need to provide you with the information and we'll clean up our own side of the street. For active duty service members, the best practice at locations that I've been prior, Fort Carson and Schofield Barracks, is this is your place of duty. So just as if a service member didn't attend PT, no show for PT, how would you manage that as a commander? They're not at their place of duty. So enforce it as, you do counseling and, verbal warning the first time, second time, you may take a non-judicial or an administrative action. That is a process that I hand over to the command teams. You know your commands better than I, but it needs to be some form of enforcement. We, the big medical we, the division surgeon cell, should be providing your company commanders a by name list of those that do not make their appointments. If they are not, let us know. That is a key deliverable from our senior medical council. So we want to make sure that you are informed so that you're able to lead and hold accountability. So overall, lots of good things happening at Bach right now. Please do let us know if you have any questions or ways that we can support. Last thing, because we had so much of that delightful candy, do we have our dental folks in? Right here? All right, so they did want me to put out, there's been some comments about access to readiness dental appointments, and Colonel Hambrice had said 100%, if your soldiers come in to the dental clinic, our sick call hours, I believe it's 7:30 is when they start, but I'll verify that. They will get an appointment for readiness dental. There will not be a wait, it will be that day. So if your soldiers come back and say, I couldn't get an appointment for readiness dental, they will move the earth to get that soldier in. So please do reinforce getting your dental readiness up. And make sure you look fresh and floss, especially after all of those delightful candy treats you got. So with that, that's all that I have. If there's any questions or comments? Sorry.
As you talk about best practices, I know you say you send out the emails or the messages to people that missed appointments. Is there anything that you can push out as far as, if you're not already, I haven't seen any, but upcoming appointments? So yeah, I don't know if the brigade sergeant majors or anything gets that, but if you can push that out so that we can, remind our soldiers that you have an appointment coming up. That was the best practice used some years ago. So.
Hey, real quick, who's not familiar with the division surgeon's new application that's online that breaks down to the company battery troop level, all this information that out of MHS Genesis? Okay. All right, I will republish it. It's a simple link. You can go down there and choose your brigade, battalion, company. You can look back until August for no-shows, and then you can project out. If they've got an appointment, we can project it out, and you can look at all your future appointments for your organization. Okay. So I will re-push that out immediately.
Thank you, Sergeant Major. If I could just give a kudos to Sergeant Major Thompson, the Division Sergeant Major for the Div Surge. Incredible work done there to develop that program so that you have that ready access. Thanks, Sergeant Major. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Well, it's here. The holidays will begin soon, and today we have events to share, information about winter weather, tips to stay safe this holiday season. So please give a warm welcome to our briefers today.
Good morning, Rachel Holloway with Kimball Crossing. So I'm just going to be briefing some information. What you're looking at up there is the freeze warning sign that is actually out throughout the communities right now. We just sent out some messaging to our residents in regards to preparing for winter weather. So these are some tips and tricks and just some reminders for you all. Making sure that let your faucets drip, keeping the heat at 68 or warmer, especially if you're going to be leaving town. I don't know if you guys are, if everyone was here last Christmas, we had an event that came in, and that was a big impact to our residents. And so we want to push that reminder back out to make sure that we don't have another event where we're greatly impacted. So we want to prepare for that. Make sure to open all the cabinets and vanities for your sinks. Remove all hoses from the outside spigots. That should start now. And then also, if you're going to be gone for an extended period of time, to notify your community office. That's very helpful for us to know when someone's going to be out of the home, so that in case there is an emergency that occurs, we have eyes on it and can make sure that we're notifying people that are out of town. We had a lot of incidences during that holiday event or that winter event in Christmas time where people were out of town and had no idea what was going on. And neither did the community office because they were not notified. So just a reminder there. And then also keeping your exterior garage doors closed as much as possible to prevent that cold air from coming into your home. Next slide. More information on just preparing for winter weather, just more practical information about preparing if you're going to be gone for an extended period of time. If you're traveling, keeping extra blankets in your cars, also having emergency food storage ready just in case an event happens. It can happen very quickly. Also, reminder for inspecting your home, making sure that you are prepared for winter weather, closing all your doors, checking your windowsills to make sure that those are closed. If you have any changing your filters every 30 days. Filters are available at the home care center or the community office as well. And then replacing your batteries for your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors if you have them in your home. Those batteries are also available at the home care center as well as your community office. And then if you have any concerns in your home, if you come across any issues with your window seal or anything with your HVAC system, contact the Maintenance Solutions Center so we can get maintenance out there to take a look. Next slide. So we do have the Lend-Lease Swiss Communities app. It's actually the same app. If you come from another Lend-Lease community, this is the same app that goes across all of our projects. But it's one of the new features that we have right now, which is really amazing, is the ability for residents to self-schedule routine work orders. So there are two different QR codes up there. The first, the QR code on the left-hand side, that one is for the app if you don't already have it. And the other one is a quick start guide to get you started, in case you do have the app and you have any questions. If you have any questions in regards to that app, self-scheduling, anything like that, you can contact the community office for assistance. That's all I have. I will be in the back with information. If you have any questions specific to housing, I'll be available. Passing it on. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Major Andrew Jasbeck. I'm an installation provost marshal. I'm going to talk a little bit about holiday safety. So Thanksgiving is the time for sharing. However, we ask that you still please lock your doors. It's up to you, but we ask that you lock your doors. Why? Most of the larcenies that occur here on Fort Campbell are what we call unattended, unsecured. You have placed your stuff in a vehicle and failed to lock your vehicle. You have placed your stuff in a residence and then failed to lock that residence. That is the same trend if you live off post, unsecured and unattended. By being a hard target and simply locking what you already have up with the tools that the manufacturer gave you, you can greatly reduce the likelihood of you being a victim of larceny and having those things stolen. Additionally, if you're traveling, if you're going to be leaving during this time frame, use light timers and try to establish a trusted neighbor that can check on your household while you're gone. If you just got here, you just PCS'd in, and now you're taking some leave, it might be holiday, whatever that may be, you can call the MP station, and we will do a welfare check on your residence to ensure that everything is A-OK. We do ask that this not be overused, and if you do have a trusted neighbor, that you reach out to them first. Slide, please. To protect you, as you walk through the Clarksville parking lots during your holiday shopping, ensure you can carry the load. Again, some of these parking lots are very long. Some of these parking lots are not very well lit. If you're moving to your car far away and your hands are full, you become an easy target because you cannot defend yourself and you cannot get away. So ensure you can carry the load or use a cart. Additionally, it is the 21st century. I don't know how many people still even carry cash, but if you do carry large sums of cash, I ask that you keep it in an inconspicuous location, something that if I walked up to you and said, give me blank, it would not be in blank. Additionally, we already talked about locking your vehicle. The third comment there, do not leave your firearms in your vehicle. That, of course, is for off-post because there would be no firearms locked in your vehicle unattended on post. But off-post, they have seen an uptick and a rise in firearms stolen out of vehicles. So criminals specifically looking for or attempting to gain firearms by going through vehicles. And again, surprisingly, despite a firearm being in them, the majority of them are unlocked. For your online purchases, there is a UPS. If you're buying a very large high value item, there is a UPS on post that you can deliver to ensure that package is secure. So we're talking about porch pirates, people taking things off the porch. If you want to ensure that positive control is maintained of that item, you can absolutely have it delivered to the UPS store on post and then pick it up from there during their duty hours. Slide, please. Most DUIs in and around this area happen between midnight and 0300. And the so what of this slide is that really you have to practice defensive driving. I'm sure many of you have been down Marie Guthrie, down Tiny Town, 3 accidents a day. Just because you are sober does not mean the person on the other side of the yellow line is sober as well. So ensure that you are practicing defensive driving and maintaining awareness of your surroundings while you're out there, and stay safe. Again, have to say it, always use a ride service, and I wouldn't say good friends don't let friends drive drunk. I would say bad friends let friends drive drunk. I put the onus back on the friends. So I will be in the back with my team if you have any questions, and thank you so much for your time. I'll turn it over to Fire to talk turkey safety.
Good morning, my name is Chris Monte. I'm one of the Garrison Fire Inspectors. I'm going to cover some holiday fire safety and cooking safety. The first thing we're going to cover is some turkey fryer safety. We're coming up to Thanksgiving now. We see a tendency of people to use turkey fryers. Big thing is making sure your turkey is called out completely and dry before you dump it into the oil. The water will boil quickly, overflow in the oil. Have a fire extinguisher available if you are using the open flames to fry, and keeping the fryer at least 10 feet from the house or from the structure. You want to make sure if something does happen, it doesn't spread any nearby combustibles. I'm going to show the video. As we can see with the frozen turkey, how quick that floods and flashes over to cause a large fire. Big thing that we see throughout this season is unattended cooking fires. People set stuff, they get busy, they get sidetracked, kids keep home from school, and next thing you know, something's burning in the kitchen. Make sure you keep the combustibles away from the stovetop, so that as you're unpacking presents, you're unpacking new stuff, you're not setting up boxes on the stovetop, the appliances, anything like that, anything that can catch fire. When you're deep frying anything on the stove or cooking anything on the stove, you want to make sure you have a lid nearby that you can cover that fire with. You don't want to try throwing water on it. Grease fire is going to spread. So you can just put a lid back on the pot that's on fire, it'll smother it out, let it cool down, remove it, take it out of the house. In the event of an oven fire, the best thing you can do is turn your oven off and let it cool down. By opening it, we introduce oxygen to the fire, it grows, it expands outside the oven. The oven is designed to keep hot and fire inside. So if we keep it closed, turn it off, let it cool down. Once the fire's out, then we can clean it out, maintain it. Next slide, please. And last thing is Christmas tree safety. A lot of live Christmas trees in here. There will be a lot of live Christmas tree farms opening. We do the Christmas tree drive where we give out live Christmas trees. If you're using a live Christmas tree, you want to make sure you cut the base off before you put it into the holder so that it will actually absorb water. It forms a kind of a glue base over it. So if you don't cut the base off, it's not going to absorb water. You want to make sure that that thing is watered daily and that we are keeping it hydrated so the leaves or the needles don't dry out. We want to inspect our Christmas lights. We want to use UL approved Christmas lights. So if you're looking at Christmas lights in the store, most of them have a little label on them that says UL on it. That means they've been tested. Make sure that they are safe. You want to check to make sure that they're not broken or frayed or sparking when you plug them in, shorting out. We want to limit our extension cord use when we're decorating around our house. Extension cords are great, but they're not designed to hold a lot of power over a long period of time. They're for temporary use of power sources. So we want to use them sparingly as needed, not use them everywhere. As we get into the cold and keeping houses warm and keeping our workplaces warm, we want to be cautious with space heater use. Space heaters can be used, they just need to be used safely. You wanna make sure you have one that has a tip over switch on it, so that way if it falls over, something knocks it over, the animal's knocking over, it automatically shuts off. And you wanna keep it away, 3 feet away from anything that might catch on fire or might burn. So, battery operated flameless candles are a good alternative to regular candles for decorations at Christmas time. Open flames, of course, can light stuff on fire, so if we can use the battery operated flameless candles, that's an improvement. This time of year, as we fire up our heaters, our furnaces, we're using natural gas in houses. We're starting cars up to warm them up in the morning. We want to make sure that our smoke detectors and our carbon dioxide alarms all have good batteries. Carbon dioxide is a dangerous odorless poison, so the only way to tell that it is in our house is with a good working detector. And going into the holiday season, we want to make sure we review our fire escape plans. We're just coming out of Fire Prevention Week. All your kids just practiced this in school, so we want to make sure everybody's reviewing your fire escape routes in your house. And lastly, the big thing is sleeping with our doors closed. Keeping doors closed limits fires. We've had multiple fires on the installation where we've seen that a door being closed can keep the fire into the room of origin and keep it from spreading, giving everybody that much more time to evacuate. If you have any questions, you can see us afterwards. Our table's in the back. There'll be a few of us back there. That's all.
Good morning, I'm Regina. Good morning, I'm Regina from MWR, presenting our November and December events, starting with our Gary Sinise and Lieutenant Dan band's free concert on November 9th at Wilson Theater. So we're very excited. We hope you all can come out to that. It's first come, first serve. You can also find our NWR facility hours for Veterans Day on that QR code on the screen, or you can visit our website at campbell.armynwr.com. And on Saturday, November 18th at 7 a.m. is our turkey trot. You can choose between a 5K or a 1 mile, and feel free to bring strollers and pets. The first 14 registered for each run will receive a free turkey. That is 1 turkey per family. There will be food trucks, a DJ at the event, and this event is sponsored by Loaves and Fishes. Now moving into December, we have a magical holiday wonderland planned for you all. We're hoping you all can make it out on December 1st, starting at 2 p.m. You can enjoy a holiday market with handcraft vendors and food trucks, and we will also be having the annual tree lighting at 5 p.m. and at 6 p.m. will be Santa's workshop at RF State Library. Well, there will be story time, arts and crafts, and of course photos with Santa, and that also is a free event. Cooper, leading into day 2 on December 2nd, as you can see on the screen, we will have Trees for Troops and the Ugly Sweater Run, so mark your calendars, enjoy in the holiday fun, and make sure you have your ugly sweater prepared for the Ugly Sweater contest at the run. Cooper Bowling is offering a few different holiday events. The 15 Days of Christmas promotion offers participants a chance to win 3 big grand prizes. A secret word will be revealed on our social media channels of Instagram and Facebook at Fort Campbell MWR. And when you go into the facility, you say the secret word and you get a small prize, and then also get entered into the drawing. And that goes from December 9th, to December 23rd. So on December 23rd, we have our Bowling with Santa and a pancake breakfast at Hoover Bowling. It's super fun for your children to meet Santa and then also be able to bowl with him. And there will also be a workshop where your child can get a toy. So pre-registration is required so that we have enough toys for all the children to participate. As always, again, follow us on social media at Instagram and Facebook at Fort Campbell MWR. You can also visit us in the back table. We have Mandy and Joe back there. Wave your hands. And we have our November calendar that has all of our events and important information with that. And we also have our holidays at Fort Campbell, and that covers all the information we discussed today. And they have other valuable materials that you can pick up as well. Thank you.
Thanks to our briefers this morning. We'd like to invite your questions at this time. If you have questions, please indicate by raising your hand. Yes, ma'am, in the back. You would stand up.
Will COVID vaccines be available in conjunction with the flu vaccines at the vaccine clinic?
Will COVID vaccines be available in conjunction with flu?
That's a great question. So currently, no, and we're not going to be able to get it to the Cole Park Commons events. More to follow on that. We're going to make sure that we send out through PAO channels once we do have the COVID vaccinations readily available.
COVID vaccines will not be available at the flu clinic, but information will be distributed.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'd like to introduce our Garrison Commander, Colonel Woodbury, for his closing comments.
Thanks, Melissa. Hey, thank you, team. Just want to first off thank everyone attending, commanders, commanders, command representatives. Sure, somehow we get great attendance when you show up, so I appreciate you attending. First off, happy November. I hope everyone had a great Halloween last night. Again, I concur, kind of reiterate what the boss said. It was a great event last night. I want to thank our briefers. Thank you for putting the time in and then passing the information. I'll summarize kind of my first three briefers with, I'm a Boy Scout. I subscribe to the Boy Scout motto. Who knows what the Boy Scout motto is? Anybody? Be prepared. It's that easy. All right, be prepared. That means be educated. Be prepared. Winter is coming. All right, winter's coming. Not in the in sense, but actually. So with that, please be prepared. Watch the weather. I did learn in came from Northern Virginia, Pentagon. Do not go out and buy snow shovels and ice like the day before snowstorms come. All right, get it. Buy it in advance. All right, buy it now, and you'll be prepared. Thank you for Regina for the events. We've got some great MWR events. Lieutenant Dan Band coming next week. It is in Wilson Theater, which is about the 600 person capacity. Is that right? So pass the information out, but do show up. Do show up early. Right? It is a small intimate venue. That'll be pretty cool. Last thing I want to say is a plug for all the agencies and offices in the back. Right? The holiday season is a festive time. It's a time of sharing kind of camaraderie and with family and friends. It's also potentially a difficult time for some. So what I mean there is watch out for yourself, your friends, your families. Watch out for your battle buddies. And I want to give a plug for all of the agencies on post. Don't suffer in silence. If we have agencies on post. Just a handful represented today. We've got the Religious Support Office, Behavioral Health, R2 Performance Center, our Military Family Life Counselors, ACS, Armed Services, YMCA. There is an agency, whether it's emotional support, financial support, there is an office and agency on this post, on this installation to help you and your soldiers in their formations and your families. So please utilize them, go back and talk to them, pass this information out, make sure this is getting down to the lowest level, and don't suffer in silence. Okay, I appreciate, that's all I have. Well, we can open it for any quick questions here, last chance. Senior Commander still here. If you have any questions, please, this is an opportunity. Okay, listen, we'll pass it back to you, and please, when we close this out, please do go and visit our agencies and tables in the back.
Thank you, sir. Our next community town hall will be held on February the 7th. We will skip December and January and allow you some valuable family time. But please do take some time today to explore the resources and events information in the back of the room, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Happy holidays.